Shalom, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as always, we'll be talking about a weekly Torah portion, Parshas Devarim, but obviously not as always, because the title of the Parsha is the same as the title of the book, because it's the first Parsha in the last fifth book of Torah. And it is a little bit worrying, at least should be, because it means that the Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, high holidays, very busy time for Rabbi, and very interesting time for the Jewish people is completely around the corner. This book, it's a last narrative, last speech that Moshe Rabbeinu gives, a long monologue of 37 days long, where he inspires and motivates the Jewish people before they enter to the land of Israel. And he begins with a retrospective of whatever happened to the Jewish people from the moment that we left Egypt till the moment that we're standing at the borders of the land of Israel. And he's not shy of not just mentioning historical and geographical facts, but also pointing out all our misdeeds and mischiefs on the journey from Egypt to the land of Israel. In this weekly Torah portion, he mentioned the story of the spies, but he mentioned a very interesting perspective. He blames the people that they convinced him to send the spies to the land of Israel. However, in the original story in Parshas Shlach, we're reading about Hashem telling Moshe, send according to your own understanding, the spies to the Holy Land. Then he blames the nation for the fact that they didn't want to enter the land of Israel. But don't we know, again from Parshas Shlach, that those were the spies who were punished because of their propaganda that we can conquer this land. And then, completely out of nowhere, he blames the people for him not entering the land of Israel, because, as we know, the story of the water from the rock for the second time, when the miracle took place, Moshe was commanded by God to speak to the rock. Instead of this, I don't know, probably with the problems with the anger management, he hit the rock, and he was punished by not entering to the land of Israel. But in our weekly Torah portion, you said, this is because of you pressured me, and this is why I made this mistake. Now, it's very strange that Moshe will be kind of changing the facts, but because we know the original, this is a problem with the, changing of the history with all the totalitarian regimes, from Pharaoh in Egypt, who were rewriting, each Pharaoh was rewriting their own history, to the Russian leaders like Stalin, who were writing their own history books, from Paul that rewrote the history with the Christianity, to Muhammad that rewrote the history with Islam. Every head of the totalitarian regime was writing their own historical book. Is Moshe falling to the same problem? Is Moshe also there? We cannot assume so. But we can see what Moshe does. First of all, it's important to understand that yes, originally the story may be understood differently, but this is the beauty of the Torah. There is no one opinion. There is no one explanation. There are many explanations, many opinions, sometimes contradictory opinions and explanations, but this is the beauty that we can find our own understanding, and not necessarily that the next year we will be okay with this understanding. Most likely we will not, and we have to look further, we'll look deeper, we'll look for different perspective. But also we can see that it's the common denominator with the Moshe's perspective on the events that happened throughout 40 years. He constantly blamed the nations, but it's not that he blamed the Jewish people. He tell us something completely different. He tells us that he speaks to the nation, to the new nation, not the people that left Egypt, not the people that grew up in the slavery, but it is a new generation that grew up, that were born and grew in freedom, in the desert. They are ready to enter the land of Israel. And the most important mentality of the free thinkers, of the people that exercise their freedom, it's not to look whom to blame, but to know how to assume responsibilities for your actions. We are lacking of this from the beginning of humanity. Adam Rishon, the first human being, when he was asked about this fruit that he ate in the heavenly garden, he blamed it on his wife, and the wife blamed it on the snake. And then the next generation, Cain, when he was asked about his brother, he said that he has no clue where is his brother. They're afraid to assume responsibility for their actions, for good or for bad. And this is what Moshe tells us. Here, the new generation, the new formation of the Jewish people, there's a new people that are ready to take responsibility. For 33 centuries in this moment, Moshe teaches us that to be a free person is to assume the responsibility. To enter the Holy Land, it's to know the importance of assuming responsibility. The question, are we ready now? Thank you very much. Good luck. I'll see you next week.